Mm.
How do I spell this guy's name?
Welcome to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast / broadcast. In your face, the three musketeers are all back together, ready to get you to week 15 into week 16. Depending on where you play at, that might be your championship game, that might be beyond your championship game. We're going to get you there, and we're going to get you there in style. We let you down last week. I wasn't here to recap and take pride on my heroes and villains of being very, very, very bad. Yeah, I hope nobody listened to Eric and set Nick Chubb because the dude is really, really, really good.
I would have never expected them to score over 90 points in that game.
Okay, yeah. Any offensive player pretty much in that game was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get this straight.
But did you really think
I thought
they would be that good against Baltimore?
I didn't know, man. I didn't know, but still. You know, the Browns did beat the Ravens earlier in the season.
No. I want to say they lost to them both times. Yeah, because they played them they played them opening weekend and they got shellacked.
That's what it was. Yes,
got the good old shellacking.
The Browns did.
Yeah, they took them out to the woodshed.
That's what I feel like every morning when I wake up.
That's just because you're old.
And you hate your job.
That's why it works a 4-letter word, boys.
Good call.
We did Secret Santa this week in mine. We did White Elephant in my job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, our boss went and got us some Wingstop and some giant cookies or crumble cookies. They're like this big around.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You can have a pizza party next week for New Year's or what? Or for Christmas?
No. Hello, Maria.
Next week.
Hi, Maria. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you.
No, I'll be at work next week. I get the week after off.
I do too. So, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the break. It's going to be great.
There you go.
So I know that none of us are in the FSA playoffs so far. We all fell apart, crumbled. Oh, did you make the Dynasty, Josh? You made Dynasty, right? So you're in the Dynasty. First week of Dynasty.
2 seed.
How's it looking? You got a shot? Are you saying there's a chance?
Oh, yeah, boys.
So you're saying there's a chance?
So you're the 2 seed. Does that mean you played the highest score, correct?
No, I played the 3 seed, which the high score is a 4 seed. Ooh. Yeah. I'm good, boys. I'm good.
Okay.
Right. I could still take high score in redraft.
Okay.
So I might still get paid from redraft, so that's good.
Okay.
We're doing things over here, boys. We're making moves. Money moves.
Nice. Speaking of the FSA, Josh, why don't you chug-a-lug that little mini Coke Zero you got? Is that the one with Santa on it?
No, but I feel like remember Andre the Giant when he was drinking those beers? This is what it looked like when he would drink a beer because his hand was so large. I feel like a large man.
I bought the Coke Zeros with Santa the other day because my son was like, "Oh, they're special edition, Dad. We got to get them." Those are rare.
Who's better at drinking beers, Stone Cold Steve Austin or Andre the Giant?
So Andre. Stone Cold's not good at drinking beers. He's good at catching beers that dude was chucking at him.
And
how much of the beer actually went down his throat?
Well, but that dude was on point every throw. Perfect.
Yeah. All right, tell them about the FSA, Josh. We went off topic here. I tried to give you a segue.
Fantasy Sports Alliance. You just heard Brad mention it. Playoffs are going on right now. There's bowl games happening in the redraft, which is the cornerstone of Fantasy Sports Alliance. Dynasty. I'm in my Dynasty playoffs. You're in yours, Brad?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. So no matter what, even if you end up in 4th place, you win your money back, your entry fee. So I'm good. Worst case scenario, I take that and I roll it over to next week or next year because I'm going to play next year no matter what.
Dynasty, baby.
Yeah, we're trying to build a dynasty. We're trying to get better every week. And that's what you can do at Fantasy Sports Alliance because they run their business the same way, trying to get better, not just every week, but every day. So you have to check it out. FSA-FR.com. Brian is running things over here, really, because we're FSA. So he's running things. He's running all over the place. I mean, He's doing big things, getting new sponsors every year to sponsor these bowl games. The matchups are getting bigger and better. The competition is getting stiffer and harder and more difficult every single year. Now, make sure you check it out, fsa-fr.com. Check out the weekly broadcast every Wednesday night from Brian, and then you can check out the Average Bros every Tuesday night. And we absolutely love being a part of FSA, who's always getting stiffer and harder. Thank you, guys.
Oh, man. We would clip that. That would be great.
And hey, if you don't catch them on the Facebook and you're like, man, I want to listen to them when I drive, but Facebook doesn't really, they have the podcast, jump out there, subscribe to the podcast, get them downloads. Here we go. We got questions coming in already. Half point PPR. I just said that all back. Half PPR. There we go. AJ Brown, Adam Thielen this week. Go. I'm going to AJ Brown.
Ooh.
Brown. He's playing Jacksonville, right? That's Jacksonville.
Yeah, and then you got Thielen playing the Bears.
So
every corner Jacksonville has is out. Every corner. They are signing dudes off the street.
Yeah, you got to start Brown.
And he's
Thielen. I think Thielen will have a good game because Cook has. Well, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about Cook's struggles with the Bears later, but yeah, Thielen might still have a good game because of that.
When you look at how great AJ Brown is, and you realize that he's doing this with Ryan Tannehill, imagine how good he'd be with a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying,
or like Marcus Mariota Thursday night, man. If you had Marcus Mariota from Thursday night,
from just that Thursday night, yes, he would be incredible.
Just that Thursday night game.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Ryan Tannehill's been super efficient since he went to Tennessee. He's been really good.
Yeah, he's been efficient, but I'm not talking about. He's not a world beater. That's what I'm saying. It's like you get a guy that's just talented as Aaron Rodgers in there throwing him the football.
Well, it helps a lot when you have Derrick Henry and you put like 8 or 9 in the box to stop him a lot. That
don't hurt, Bob.
Otherwise, he gets you 200 yards and 2 scores.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Doesn't hurt. But yeah, AJ Brown for me for sure.
Speaking of Derrick Henry. Oh, sorry. No, they don't play. I got that backwards. They're playing Detroit this week. They're not playing Jacksonville. They're playing Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they can pick on that rookie corner. Yeah. Go for it.
Oh, he's out. The rookie corner's out.
He's all right. Well, then they're screwed. Yeah. Go with AJ against Detroit. They're terrible.
Derrick Henry is going up against Detroit. They are the worst team against the run. Is Derrick Henry the RB1 this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Another possibly 200-yard game. Flirt with it.
Very possibly.
Not possible, probable. Okay.
And Marcos brings up a good point. Kind of worried that the Titans get ahead and then Henry goes off. Yeah. I
do too, but I think they're still going to throw a little bit. They still have to throw, to be honest, and AJ Brown can take a short pass and take it a long ways.
Yeah.
His yards after the catch are ridiculous.
Very good.
Thielen's okay, but man, like you said, it's the Bears. It's Kirk Cousins.
It's not a primetime game,
which is a plus. But
I think,
and you should never underestimate Matt Nagy's ability to mess things up.
Right.
So Bill Lazor is calling the plays now, boys, and ever since the Laser Show's gotten in there,
lasers.
Yeah,
that Lions game too has the second highest over under of the week behind Saints Chiefs at 51.5. So it's safe to say, and if Stafford's out there, they're gonna keep throwing it, and they'll probably do okay. They'll hang in there enough to keep it kind of competitive for a little bit, maybe.
Potato, tomato.
So the Giants, good old hand clap himself there, old Dallas, coach. He got the COVID.
They got the 15th.
Freddie Kitchens is coming in to call the plays against the Browns.
Don't like that.
Revenge game?
No.
Jabril Peppers, who was traded from the Browns for Odell Beckham on the Giants. Revenge game?
No.
How many revenge games we got going here?
It's the NFL. Everyone has coached or played on another team. Come on.
But Kitchens?
Kitchens doesn't have the ability to give you a revenge game, so I'm not worried about that.
He's calling the plays, baby.
Yeah, still doesn't mean that he's going to be good at it.
I mean, it doesn't change anything for me on that game. Christian McCaffrey's doubtful. I doubt he even suits up.
Poor Josh. Come on, you haven't had him all year, man.
Yeah,
I heard a good question on Twitter, though. Who do you want rest of season, or who would you want in Dynasty to build around? Would you rather Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara? Alvin Kamara is a year older than Christian McCaffrey. Which one do you want?
Kamara.
Even though he's 25 and McCaffrey's only 24?
You got to look at usage.
What if Breeze is gone?
Doesn't matter.
It did. The last couple of weeks with Taysom Hill, he hasn't been great.
No, once defenses started figuring out how to play Taysom Hill, and you saw last week, Alvin Kamara got plenty of work. I'm not worried about that. I think that's just going to be one of those things where he's just learning how to do the offense. Christian McCaffrey, you got to remember, he's 1,000 last year. So he was the offense in Carolina for the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then at Stanford, he was doing the same. Stanford, he was returning kicks and stuff, man. I mean, the dude has got
Should have
some.
won that Heisman. Should have won that Heisman. I'm just saying.
He should have. Absolutely. But, don't get me started on that, dude. But anyway.
Was it the Manti year? No, it wasn't the Manti.
It wasn't that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, never mind. That was way too long ago.
Yeah, but no, for me, it's Kamara. I would rather have him.
Well, Devontae Parker's out, so I would go Michael Pittman there.
Yep.
Yeah,
The question was Michael Pittman or Devontae Parker, and this gentleman said that he's thinking Pittman since Gilmore will lock down Parker, but Parker's hurt. So.
Yeah, Parker is out this week, which I was going to get into. So, yeah, definitely stay away from Devontae Parker. Go ahead and take him out of your lineup. Julio Jones is also out. Deebo Samuel is out. Brandon Cooks is out. And Michael Thomas is out.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
Yeah.
I mean, Alvin Kamara might
fire him up.
Yeah, with Breeze back too? Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Breeze is back. Do you want to start Emmanuel Sanders against the Chiefs?
I don't want to, but I think I think he'll be a good play though. He'll be safe. I'm not stoked about it, but I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Oh, I don't know. He's got to go poop. All right, Josh, I had a question. I saw on Twitter here. I responded to it. What I said, I'll let you know about that. Guy needs to set his flex.
All right.
Or his RB2. Sorry, his RB2. His RB2. Trying to get to the exact here. He has Drake, Dobbins, McKissick, or Fournette.
Drake. No, not Lenny. That's terrible.
Yep.
Dobbins, McKissick, or Fournette. Drake is out. So then it goes down to Dobbins.
Is he out for the week?
No, I mean they're playing the Eagles, but the defense with the Eagles isn't really the problem. So I don't.
Okay.
I think I go Dobbins against the Jags. Yeah.
Okay. So
That's
I
the one
was thinking about Dobbins, but Drake just gets red zone work, man. I went in for him a billing last week, and it was wrong because he gets the touchdowns. He doesn't get a whole lot of yards, but he's going to get touchdowns. Like, if you're looking for a dude to get touchdowns, that was kind of my thinking with that. So, and I went Drake just because they have red zone efficiency for that team is terrible.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, in the playoffs, if you feel good because Drake was probably this guy's first round pick, or maybe his second, I feel I can understand that. But I feel like this week with them playing Jacksonville being terrible, that Baltimore's going to run it. That's what they're doing now. They're getting back to letting Lamar run them a little bit more. I feel confident with J.K. Dobbins, but I could understand with wanting to go with Drake with the red zone work as well. But for me,
does Imodium need to go out and sponsor
Lamar? So it was funny.
Gold opportunity, right?
It was funny. As soon as I saw him running into the bathroom, I was this is going through my mind. As soon as I saw him running into the locker room, I was like, he's got to poop. He's pooping. He's absolutely pooping because nobody was warming up, and I was like, oh, he's pooping. No big deal.
Yeah.
And then he just comes because if the cramp was in his leg, and he was running.
He didn't run when he came back.
No,
Didn't
running
McSorley
into
go down
the locker room.
He was stretching it out, man.
Trace McSorley goes down on a third down play. It comes down to this fourth down play, and here comes Superman without the cape running in there like, oh, I dumped the load. I'm good. Boom, let's roll. Let's go.
And Hollywood finally caught a ball. Probably because it was a little sticky, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, well.
Didn't have time to wash. Just saying.
Hey, pulling those pants back up whenever you're sweaty is quite difficult. I'll be honest with you.
He wasn't by himself back there, boys. Let's be honest. It's like when you take a toddler to the public bathroom. You're out there helping them.
Yeah, whenever you're in the NFL, you got people for that.
Oh, man.
Poop people.
Right.
You got your poop
This
people.
week, Zeke. I know you're starting him in one league, Josh.
Lack of options.
Lack of options because your other option is Jeff Wilson Jr. But how low are you guys on Zeke this week?
He was almost a villain for me. I couldn't do it because I'm having to play him. That's the only reason.
You didn't want to seem like a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I mean, the Niners are pretty stout against the run, and then that offense is just it's still vanilla. They don't put him in space. They don't do anything with him.
Way more exciting.
He's way more explosive. He looks better on the field, period. Dot. Like he runs harder. Zeke has looked like he's been running in mud for most of this season. He just doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't either if I was getting paid all that money and my QB went down. I'd be like, well, it's next year.
There's so many things working against him this week. How good the Niners defense is, how they're going to try to control the clock because they're going to definitely run it. They're not going to let CJ Beathard go in there and try and light these guys up, even though he could easily.
I know Shanahan's mouth is watering looking at that Dallas defense.
Oh, I saw. Yeah. Sorry, I said CJ Beathard. I meant Nick Mullins, but yeah, you know what's going to happen.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's so many things working against Zeke. It's going to be. I'm fully expecting a bad week.
It's really too bad Kittle couldn't come back for this game too, because that would have been a nice boost for the playoffs.
Would you have started him though? I mean, honestly, would you have been worried? Would you have been worried that he's going to regress? Like, if you made it this far without Kittle, chances are you have a good option that got you there.
You might, or you might. Maybe you've just been scraping by, streaming whatever tight ends available,
like Robert Tonyan or something. I
mean, maybe, but
I would just be worried that Kittle would have went down again. I don't know. In my fantasy playoffs, if I got here without Kittle, unless I know he's 100%, I'm very iffy.
I wouldn't have worried about the Dallas Cowboys hitting them too hard.
But that's our ifs and buts, right?
That's true.
We'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Yep. All right, Marcus Mariota. He came in for a Derek Carr. I only want to talk about this before we get into heroes and villains because it's kind of important going into championship week. Can one of you guys look up who they play? I looked it up next week. Who do the Raiders play next week?
The Raiders.
They're the Las Vegas Raiders, even though I can call them Oakland.
I got it.
John Gruden wore the wrong hat out there. He wore an Oakland Raider hat out on Thursday night. So I can call them Oakland Raiders. It's cool.
They have Miami next week.
Okay, they got Miami. So probably not going there. Never mind. What I was going to say was, would you want to go there? But nope. Done with that. Moving on to heroes and villains. Let's do this. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get into heroes and villains?
Alex Smith will not play. That's a huge problem.
Antonio Gibson.
Is he out for sure?
He's out. He won't play.
Yep. Yeah. Everything that I liked about any one of the Washington football team, including Scary Terry McLaurin, because I think he's banged up too. Don't like it. Let's get into these heroes and these villains for this week 15. Some leagues semifinals, some leagues finals. We need to get you there, right? We need to have a bounce back from last week. You guys were kind and said I went 50-50 last week. I don't think I was 50-50.
You weren't here to defend yourself. We're not going to whack you.
I know you got to let me burn. Let me burn, boys. Let me burn.
Let it burn.
So, Josh, let's start with your quarterback hero this week.
Oh, well, thank you for being so kind. Yeah. My quarterback hero this week was nice and tasty. I decided to go with King. No, he's not a king. I'm going with Jared Goff. So Jared Goff is the Rams are playing who? The New York Jets. We know what happened last time because they had to lean on their running game in order to beat the Patriots. Guess what? You ain't got to do that against the Jets. You ain't got to. Sean McVay can actually practice some stuff. He can try to throw in some trick plays before the playoffs. He can work out all kinds of stuff and practice up against his scout team. I mean, the Jets are terrible. Jared Goff is going to have a great week. I think he's going to be a QB1. I think he's going to be this guy you want to throw in your lineup for your fantasy playoffs. Set it, forget it. I mean, this is easy. Easy. In my FSA, he's going in for sure. 100%. Eric, you're going to be starting him.
Yeah, he's. I could start Jenny Jones, but I probably won't.
No, you have another guy. You have
I do.
Jalen Hurts.
I'm not taking him off my taxi squad yet.
Speaking of Jalen Hurts, that is my hero this week. I wanted to go Josh Allen, but I thought that was way too chalky. I love Josh Allen this week against Denver on Saturday. There are 2 Saturday games. We didn't mention that. So if you're listening to this as a podcast, check your lineups right now because games might be starting on you. But Jalen Hurts, he's playing Arizona. Dude just ran for 100 yards, threw for 100 yards. He gives you a nice, safe floor. I don't think he'll be world beater. I don't think he'll be flirting with that top. Like, he won't be flirting with the top half of the QB1s, but I think he could sneak in there, bottom half QB1s, if you're looking at streaming quarterbacks.
Alshon?
What?
Alshon?
No.
Hey, he caught his first touchdown of the year from Jalen Hurts.
He did, but I'm not going with that yet. I'm not that crazy with it yet. I'm more looking at his legs and everything he's got going on.
Those are some nice legs.
And he's not a bad passer. Let's not forget. He was at Oklahoma last year, and he was throwing the ball pretty good. Wasn't he leading the Heisman race halfway through the college football season?
Yes.
I mean, people sleep on him a lot because Joe Burrow had that huge, but he was pretty good. He's played in some big games too in his life.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Jalen Hurts this week. It don't hurt. And he gives us some puns if he falls in our face.
There you go.
Yeah. And Eric, who is your quarterback hero?
My quarterback hero is Tom Brady this week. Marcus Mariota. Yeah, he was great. Why not? Sure. We'll plug him in. No, Tom Brady. He's been QB 10 over the last 7 weeks. 18 total touchdowns to 7 picks. Not the best numbers in the whole world, but still pretty decent. But he's playing the Falcons this week, and they are absolute garbage against quarterbacks and wide receivers. They give up an average of 25 points to QBs and 27 to wide receivers, and he's got those in spades. So I look for a big bounce back week for Tom Brady for the playoffs, for the fantasy playoffs. Excuse me.
Okay. I like it. Let's move on to running backs. I am going to go with a guy who was on the injury report, got banged up last week. He feels risky every week, but he's playing Dallas. It's Raheem Mostert. He is off the injury report this week. I mean, if he was on the injury report, I might be going Jeff Wilson Jr., but he's off the injury report. He's going to be out there. The curse of the 49er running back is bad, but that cursed Dallas defense is worse. So Raheem Mostert this week, fire him up, hero. Going to be an RB1. Going to get you into the championship.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
Eric, who do you have at the RB position?
I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here and say Cam Akers.
I like that. It's not a limb. That's perfect.
He's got a good matchup because he's playing the Jets.
Yes.
But that 3-headed monster, and like Sean McVay gave him all the carries last week, but is he going to do it again this week, or is it going to be a Malcolm Brown game, or is it going to be a Darrell Henderson game?
Nope.
I think it's going to be a Cam Akers game again. He's been running back 25 over the last 7 weeks. He's had at least 14 fantasy points in his last 3 games. That's PPR. 21 points last week. Oh, I'm sorry, he's playing the Jags, not the Jets. But the Jags give up an average of 21 points a game to running backs.
He plays the Jets. You were right.
I was right. Oh,
he plays the Jets.
Let's make sure I didn't get my number wrong.
It's a lot of L's. Got it.
Lots of L's.
No, I agree with you. I think that's kind of why Jared Goff's not going to have a great game, just because they're just going to say, Jared Goff, don't lose us anything.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald will probably handle the rest.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, it is 21 points a game from the Jags, 2 running backs. So I think he'll have 20 plus points this week.
Okay. Jets. Got it.
Jags.
Playing the Jets.
Playing the Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
They're playing the Jets. You were right the first time.
I was right the first time.
Yes.
Oh, then my number is wrong. Oh. They only give up 16 points. But that's okay. He'll still have 20 points.
It's just because they turn the ball over so much.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just making sure my number's right. My bad. I got mixed up. Sorry.
Who do you have at the running back position? You going with Melvin Gordon?
No. He's actually got a shoulder injury, and he's already questionable anyway. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with a guy who has a great matchup this week. It would have been great for your fantasy playoffs, especially if you the number 1 overall pick worked out. Christian McCaffrey. Mike Davis. Mike Davis is playing.
Mike Davis.
Magic Mike. He's playing the Green Bay Packers, which are the 4th worst team in all of fantasy football against the run. They haven't allowed a ton of yardage, but what they have given up is over 660 yards passing to running backs, and that is number 1 in the NFL. So PPR, which is what we do over here on this show, Mike Davis should have a great game. They've allowed 5 receiving touchdowns to running backs. That's second in the NFL, with only the Detroit Lions allowing more. This would have been a perfect Christian McCaffrey game. So good. And he's not playing. All right, so Mike Davis. Have fun with Mike Davis. Go on.
You want Mike Davis? I would trade. Oh, wait, trade deadline's over. Here we go.
Sup, Chuko?
Got questions? Send them. We're ready for them.
Fire them off. We'll try to get you through it.
All right, wide receiver time. Eric, you're going to start this one off. Give me that hero wide receiver.
Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, gotta love it. So many targets.
Ooh.
Wide receiver 20 over the last 7 weeks.
Sorry.
He's at least 17 and a half fantasy points in his last 5 games. The Dallas defense, they're atrocious. 30th in the league versus wide receivers. No Debo, no Kittle. He's the only guy out there that can catch the ball. He'll have 20-plus points against the Cowboys this week. No problem. Ain't nobody shutting him down. Awuzie, you ain't stopped him. Sorry. Get out of here. Ayuk's going to go off.
Josh, who do you have at that wide receiver position?
We already talked about him a little bit earlier in the pre-show, or actually earlier in this show. AJ Brown, for me, I think he's got so much. He's so good. They're playing Detroit Lions, 5th worst against wide receivers. They've allowed over 2,500 yards to wide receivers so far this year. 348 fantasy points. You're just crushing it. The only thing they've been pretty good about not allowing touchdowns to tight ends. They're actually stopping quite a bit of those. But AJ Brown, he gets this thing called yak. The yak. Don't talk back. So I love AJ Brown this week. The matchup is just so solid against Detroit. Derrick Henry is going to run. He's going to wear him down. If Matty Stafford plays, like Eric said, they'll keep him in the game just a little bit. I feel very confident with AJ Brown this week. Really, really confident. He's so friggin' good.
So this guy I'm going with, we've been down on him all year. But the last 2 weeks, he's got like 25 points the last 2 weeks. Looked really good. He's going up against a terrible secondary who let Mitchell Trubisky throw touchdowns on him. He let Allen Robinson, who had down weeks, get 27 points. Darnell Mooney, you heard me right. Darnell Mooney, he got a touchdown. I'm going T.Y. Hilton playing Houston this week. I like it a lot. T.Y. Hilton.
I like the cojones on that one. That's a good call.
Good old Phil is like, okay, this T.Y. dude's good. I like Pittman. Like we talked about Pittman earlier, but I think T.Y. he's been really good these last couple of weeks. I think they're finally understanding how to use him with Rivers in that offense. And the Houston secondary is terrible. So give me some T.
I just want to add this. AJ Brown, since he came back from injury in week 5, he's the number 3 wide receiver in all of fantasy football.
Is that good?
From what I understand, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
The only guys better than him in that stretch were Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. So
they're okay.
All right.
All right.
I think Tyreek Hill had like a 57.
Yeah, pretty good. So anyway.
All right, boys. It's time for our favorite position. I think it's the one that we miss on almost every time. And by miss, I mean usually we just flip-flop. If you flip-flop our stuff every time, we give you a hero name.
Yeah.
We just don't usually say the right position.
Exactly.
I'm going to start it off. I'm going with Cole Kmet. Last 2 weeks, he's had 7 targets each week with Mitch Trubisky out there. If you're looking to stream a tight end, give me a guy that's getting targets. I know Trubisky's going to him. The laser show is using the tight end, I guess, now. I don't know. It's Cole Kmet, man. It's tight end. I mean, I want to just say Travis Kelce, hero. Put it on the board. But no, I can't do that. That wouldn't be fair to everybody out there. I'm going Cole Kmet. Josh.
This was particularly difficult for me. Just because I hate the tight end position so much, but the matchup is really good. The matchup is really, really good, and that's all you can really do in a lot of these situations is you just look at the matchup.
Yep.
This is a plus matchup for this gentleman that I'm going to bring up, and even though he's still a big-time name, he actually hasn't had a great year. So I'm going with Mark Andrews for the Baltimore Ravens. They actually don't have to play on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday now, so that might help some things. The Jags might cure all ills. I love Mark Andrews this week. I think that he'll be the guy that they're able to target. The Jags are just so bad. And like Brad said, probably wrong. Probably wrong on this. But all you can do is look at stats. You look at matchups and you see who's got what. And the Jags are really bad. They've allowed 10 touchdowns to tight ends. So you're kind of just hoping for that, really.
And he had 6 targets last week coming off the COVID list. So,
yeah.
At least you know he's in usage. And I think that's what you got to go with the tight end.
Absolutely.
Eric, where are you going, bud?
I'm going to pair my quarterback with his tight end. I'm going with
Tide
Gronk.
Pods?
Going with Gronk. Tide Pods. Bring him on. So he's been tight end 8 over the last 7 weeks, 10-plus points in 2 of his last 4 games. Atlanta is the 3rd worst team in the league versus tight ends, giving up an average of 9 fantasy points a game. They have given up 9 touchdowns to tight ends this year. Pretty solid. Pretty bad.
But Eric, all he did last week was catch 1 pass.
1 for 1, right? That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's all right.
Get you some sure points. Get you a touchdown.
All right. Before we move on to villains, to help Brian out with the great work he does, let's do a quick recap of our heroes. I will start. My quarterback is Jalen Hurts. My running back is Raheem Mostert. My wide receiver is T.Y. And my tight end is Cole Kmet. Josh, who are your heroes?
I have Jared Goff, Mike Davis, A.J. Brown, and Mark Andrews.
That leaves you, Eric.
I have Tom Brady at quarterback, Cam Akers at running back, Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver, and Gronk at tight end.
Hadouken.
All righty. We do have a little question out here. He wants us to pick teams that are going to that big, game at the end of the year. I can't say it's trademarked game. It's down there if you can if you're reading on the thing. I don't want Papa Bear Goodell coming after me, okay?
The title game.
The title
for the NFL. That's
the
what
big
we're talking
game.
about.
The big cereal bowl. Who do you think it's going to be?
Eric, you got some? I have my Super Bowl pick already.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Chiefs Saints.
Chiefs Saints.
Yeah.
I think the Packers are going to hang on to that 1 seed, and I think they're going to get back with that combination of that defense and that offense playing the way they are. The Saints are banged up. I don't trust them.
Yep.
So I like the Packers, and then out of the AFC, you got to go through Arrowhead right now, and you ain't getting through Arrowhead. So
I think the same thing with Packers. I was going to go Chiefs Packers because the home field advantage, if those teams hold on to it, going to Green Bay and winning in January.
Yeah, Drew Brees ain't going to the cold in January and winning that game. It ain't going to happen.
Brady maybe, but we saw what he did.
No, Tom won't either.
He wants to say, though, he's got the Bills. He agrees on Goff, and he loves the Gronk pick.
The Bills.
So, I mean, the Bills are good. I just don't think they're
Hey.
there yet. I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, there's still one. I think them and the Browns are like a year away.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, villains. Give us our
Let's
V
go.
card, boys. Let's get some villains out here. Eric, give me your quarterback.
Quarterback villain this week, Deshaun Watson. They're banged up. They got no Brandon Cooks. I know, Josh. I know you're playing them. I know you're worried.
He has to. He ain't got no choice.
Yeah, I know. The Colts are the fourth best team versus QBs, only giving up 17 points a game. They have 15 interceptions on the year and 3 fumbles. And they only give up 15 rushing yards per game to quarterbacks. So if you think Deshaun's legs are going to save him, they're not. Yeah, it's not going to be good. He's got no Cooks. Who's their tackle? He didn't play last week. He's probably banged up this week. Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
I worry about his blind side. It's going to be a rough day for Duke Johnson's hurt. It's going to be a bad day for the.
He's dealing with a little bit of injury too. He got banged up in the last game.
He did. It's not going to be a good day for Deshaun. So
Those are all facts that you said out of your mouth hole. So there's that.
yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
But
I hope he comes through for you, but
I never like saying Deshaun Watson as a villain on here because when we've done it, he's shown us that he can make magic happen.
reverse jinx for Josh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for, bud.
All right, Josh, who is your quarterback?
This is a guy who you guys probably, people have been on the fence about starting. It's more of like ruling people out. There's guys that you're going to rule out automatically. You're not going to start your Nick Foles of the world. You're not going to start your Dwayne Haskins of the world. So I was looking at different matchups. Come on. I was looking at different matchups about people who
You're not going to start the guy that got benched for Mitch Trubisky?
All right.
No, you're not going to start Mitch Trubisky either. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to start Mitch Trubisky, not in your playoffs. But so I was thinking a lot of people might actually look at Tua and get ready to start him. I'm not ready to go down that road just yet. The Patriots, despite missing like 6 starters, have still been very good against quarterbacks this year. They've only allowed 17 touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks in 13 games, while they have 15 interceptions. The Patriots defense is still pretty good, and Tua not quite ready yet. And I think, Belichick, he knows Brian Flores pretty well. They were on that staff together for quite some time. I think Brian Flores is a great coach, and I think this offense is really doing some good things. But without Mike Gesicki playing, who I don't think is going to play, he's a clear outlet for Tua. It makes for a bad combination, and I can't condone that.
Yeah. A lot of running backs out. Miami's beat up. Like, people talk about that. They're looking good, but they're beat up pretty bad. Yeah, I agree with Tua. And also, we saw what they did to Justin Herbert, another rookie quarterback. I think right now in their NFL progression, we can all admit that Justin Herbert is farther along than Tua, correct?
Oh, my goodness, he's good.
I'm just saying, right at this current moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like people are ready to crown him. I'm like, whoa,
No.
1 year.
If Herbert doesn't win Rookie of the Year, he'll get robbed. That's a rob.
Well, he's
Did Baker
tied
win
for
it?
rookie record.
Baker won, right?
Yeah, well, he's tied for Baker's rookie record for touchdown passes in a season right now. He's going to break it next week.
He should win Rookie of the Year. Absolutely.
And he's within reach of the yardage total for a rookie as well. That was set by Andrew.
What I will give him, though, is Baker had less games than him. Because remember, Baker didn't come in until they fired Hugh Jackson.
That's true. He didn't, but
they both came in for Tyrod. But, the Chargers medical staff took care of Tyrod for us.
Oh, man.
Poor Tyrod.
Man.
It's funny that Tyrod has something to do with both of these records. Good for you, Tyrod.
Well, he also has something to do with Joe Flacco, too. He backed up Joe Flacco when Joe Flacco got paid. If you want your quarterback to do good, just go get Tyrod. Just saying. If you want your quarterback to get hurt, go get Fitzpatrick.
Reverse Fitzpatrick. Yeah,
that's fair.
All right, my villain this week is Matthew Ryan. He's got ice in his veins, and that's because he's stiff, doesn't move well, and he's playing Tampa Bay, and he's just been bad, man. And no Julio Jones. I mean, we can all say Julio's not the Julio he has been in the past years, but I think Matt Ryan is way better with Julio there. It gives him a clear-cut go-to guy. Calvin Ridley's good, but Calvin Ridley by himself isn't Julio Jones.
No.
So, yeah, I'm going Matt Ryan this week. If you made it despite him last week, you need to find somewhere to pivot. And I know Josh said he didn't like Trubisky, but I like Trubisky over our villain so far.
That's fair. So Chuko wants to know our thoughts on Gesicki.
Well, if Gesicki plays, I think you have to start him. But if he doesn't, do we go to Adam Shaheen?
I think based on how they scored last week, you probably could. But the Patriots are pretty good against tight ends. And
yeah,
is it Fitz playing or is it?
It's Tua.
It's Tua. Tua was a little banged up, and the Patriots against a rookie QB. You saw what they did to Justin Herbert. I don't love that matchup. So, what, Josh?
I was gonna say, did you hear the conversation we had about my villain? Like we said everything that you just said.
There you go. So,
he was getting research ready. He was still looking to see.
I am. I'm still getting stuff ready.
Who they're playing. Okay, he's still trying to figure out who the Jets and Jags.
Because I didn't. Yeah,
I just thought this was a three-way conversation. I just thought
sometimes it is. Sometimes I just completely tune you guys out because I'm looking at stuff over on the other side of my screen.
Good to know. All right.
Yeah, I'm a bad person.
All right, let's move on to the running back situation. Josh, go ahead. Who's your villain running back?
The Seattle running backs. I say that because we know that Chris Carson has been banged up, and they've kind of used him.
Good to go.
Yeah, we know they kind of used him and Carlos Hyde in tandem right now. They're playing against the Washington football team, and even though the Washington football team is missing their starting running back, their starting quarterback, and that's not good, that defense still pretty healthy, and that defense has really stepped it up. You got to remember, they're leading the division. They're within one game of actually being 500. Bravo.
Honestly,
Bravo.
But that's blood for sure.
And that NFC least, if they make it to 8-8, I can't believe it. It's possible right now. They're 6-7. This defense is going to play tough. I don't like Carlos Hyde. I don't like Chris Carson this week. I mean, you're talking about one of the absolute best. They're the fourth best team in all of fantasy football against running backs. Barely allowed over 1,000 yards and only 6 touchdowns all year long. They have allowed 51 receptions for only 329 yards. I don't like that either. I don't think that they're going to be a team to be messed with too much. Now, I know they play in the East, and they haven't been, the teams that they play there haven't been great, but Washington has played some really good teams, and they performed very well. So I love Washington in that defense this week, and I don't want anything to do with those Seattle backs.
Yeah. One thing I do want to add is that Rashad Penny could be activated for this game too. So that's
even worse.
Other person in there, and if they get up early, they may try to get him to some work to get back to game shape too. Which chances are you're not starting Rashad Penny at all.
No.
So yeah, I think you still. I don't think I can take Chris Carson on my lineup though this week.
No, yeah,
injuries and some other stuff. I think I have to keep him in my lineup. I mean, I get what you're saying, Josh, and I sort of agree. It's really hard for me to not play him.
You got to remember, I had to pivot from Zeke, I just couldn't bring myself to say it. That was my number one choice.
Yeah,
but I got to start.
Yeah. And is Zeke becoming too much a low hanging fruit for a villain?
Yeah.
At this point, he's been so bad. Yeah, probably.
My running back villain.
It's like, hey, Sam Darnold is a villain. No,
he was a hero last week, wasn't he?
He was 1 week. I busted that one bad.
It's all good. I started him.
Yeah, me too. So.
All right, I'm going with David Johnson. He's playing the Colts. Eric already talked about the Colts and how good they are. So yeah, it's just David Johnson ain't doing anything this week. So if you had him and you made it through his COVID weeks and you're going there, go away from there. Yeah, I'd probably start Zeke over David Johnson.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that crazy talk? But at least I know.
You might get 9 points out of Zeke. You might not get anything out of DJ. So
yeah. All right. Eric, you didn't give us yours yet, right? Or did you?
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not. So I took him also against the Bears last time, and I'm taking him again against the Bears this time. Dalvin Cook is my villain running back, and it worked out for me last time. All right, so let's see. 15 PPR points versus the Bears in Week 10. And the only reason he got that far is because he had 4 catches for 14 yards. In the last 4 games versus the Bears, he's had 64 carries for 182 yards. That's 45 yards a game and 2.8 yards per carry with 1 touchdown. The Bears are the 8th best team against running backs, only giving up 15 a game, and they've only surrendered 9 rushing touchdowns. And here's another crazy stat: they've given up 0 receiving touchdowns to running backs this year. So, are you going to start Dalvin Cook? Probably, but I
was going to ask you that. So, Dalvin Cook, I can't bench him.
No, but I think he's a running back too. He's not going to give you.
Got here, you got here on his back.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, maybe if you went out and got Cam Akers, okay.
Yeah,
and you have some more options at running back. It's just really going to be really, really hard. Would you start DeAndre Swift over Cook playing Tennessee this week?
I like DeAndre Swift.
I do like DeAndre Swift. That's a good matchup too. God, he's so bad against the Bears.
That's what I'm saying. So we got to. I guess can't say somebody's a villain, but you're going to start him. If you guys are legit getting on this ledge and going to jump off of it, these are dudes we want to set, and it's hard to say it when you want to step on a limb and say Dalvin Cook. Great, but we're talking playoffs here. We're talking about this dude's a villain. He's going to lose me a week.
I would probably rather start Montgomery or Jonathan Taylor if I had one of those guys.
Okay, Kareem Hunt against the Giants.
You could go with that. Kareem Hunt's been really good over the last 7 weeks. He's been really good over the last. I think he's where's he at?
I think what we're saying is
good.
I think you're still going to start Dalvin Cook no matter what. It's just one of those things. If you do have some really good running backs, but we talked about Josh's situation where he's starting Zeke because it's Jeff Wilson Jr. And chances are, if you made it this far, you ain't got a lot of other options because you can't make trades in most leagues.
Mm-mm.
Running back is barren now because people have just hoarded them all.
Yeah. One reason I say Dalvin Cook for a villain this week, if you're playing Dalvin Cook or Zeke or somebody like that this week that doesn't have a great matchup, that struggled against that team in the past, and you have a boom guy on your bench that you maybe want to plug, you're thinking about plugging in at your flex, maybe you need to. So if you get that boom game, you come through and win because he makes up the difference that Cook or Zeke doesn't get you this week.
Okay. All right. I can respect that. Wide receiver, villains, Joshua. Let's hear it.
I don't want to drop the ball here. Like my villain, Deontay Johnson.
He killed me last week.
He had so many drops, the dude got benched.
Is he Nelson Aguilar? The second? No, I'm kidding. He's bad.
No, Aguilar's better. No, in all seriousness, unfortunately, this is the Monday night game. I know we're trying to stay away from Monday night games, but I do not want my whole season to hinge on Deontay Johnson playing good against the Bengals on Monday night. I think this is a game where they're going to try and get the running game going, especially start getting ready for the playoffs. They're going to want to win this game, don't get me wrong, but they have a whole pandemic of drops on this team right now. Juju's dropping stuff, Deontay's dropping. Eric Ebron, he couldn't catch a cold right now. I don't know what the heck's going on. I mean, they're terrible with drops, completely unprofessional. Deontay got sat, he's a second-year player. And the Bengals are actually pretty good against the pass. These division games are not – they're not – especially in the AFC North, they're not what – you throw out the records, you throw out the paper, it doesn't matter in these games. The Bengals are going to come in, they're going to play the Steelers team tough. They know now that they're vulnerable. They're not invincible. They've just played some really crappy teams and they won. I don't expect Deontay Johnson to get better this week. I mean, he probably wants to be, but now it's in his head. He could have the yips. I can't go with my playoffs on the line with the guy with the yips.
tell you what he won't be doing. He won't be dancing on any midfield logos this week.
That's Juju. Juju will do that.
That was Juju? I thought that was Deontay.
It was Juju. And Juju said he's not going to stop.
They ain't going to win.
He said he ain't going to stop doing what he's doing.
Josh Allen had something to say about that. He said they can F and dance.
We're going to go work. I like that, too. I was like, dang, my boy Josh. All right.
Eric, give me your wide receiver villain.
All right. He's been wide receiver 32 in weeks 8 through 14. Yeah. Nope. He's had one touchdown in that time frame. It's Tyler Lockett. So that's compared to Metcalf's 5 touchdowns over that same time frame. And Russell Wilson has 6 picks in that time frame. They haven't been in sync. They haven't been playing well. And Washington's defense, like Josh talked about earlier, they're really good against the run. Well, guess what? They're really good against the pass too. They're the 3rd best team versus wide receivers in fantasy, only giving up 19 points a game. It seems like Russell hasn't really targeted him he hasn't hit double-digit targets in his last 6 or 7 games either. So it seems like Metcalf is the guy for Russell. So I don't trust Lockett this week.
Okay. I like it. All right. I was going to pivot away from this because I started talking myself into it. My villain wide receiver this week is DJ Chark against Baltimore's defense.
Charknado.
I know that Marcus Peters may spit at the back of people and Jarvis Landry wants to call him out. But I saw what Marcus Peters likes to do. I saw Marshawn Lynch have to go out there and stop him from getting in a fight. I'm pretty sure that dude's pretty hard. And he's really good, and he'll jump routes. And Gardner Minshew's going to be starting, so that's a little bit better. That's why I originally went with this, going with the other dude. The tall guy was going to be there. I ain't going to say his name. It ain't worth it because he's benched now for Minshew. But DJ Chark this week against the Ravens, I think that defense, even though they won that game, I think the defense is a little embarrassed by how many points they gave up to Cleveland. And I think that they're going to come back. 1, ball control from running the ball. And 2, they really don't have one weapon to wide receiver, and it's DJ Chark. I know what's his face has been good this year, but Keelan Cole, but DJ Chark is the go-to guy there. And that's the guy they're going to focus on shutting down. So DJ Chark this week, don't like him against Baltimore. Okay. I ain't starting him in a playoff game.
They'll probably play keep away with the ball anyway, too. Look at how much they ran against the Browns. So
yeah, but the thing is the Ravens can run the ball 6 times and have like a 3.5-minute drive. Like
that's true. They can.
All right. That's everybody's wide receivers. We ready to get these wrong on tight end?
Yeah,
I'm ready, dude.
All right, mine's Eric Ebron. You know why? Because he can't catch the ball. He gets a lot of targets. Dude,
nice.
Come on, man. Nice. Better fingers. And I think Big Ben's getting tired of it. Eric, who you got at tight end?
I got Logan Thomas. So Seattle's they're middle of the road versus tight ends, giving up 6 points a game. They've only given up 6 touchdowns all year to tight ends. But like you said, Antonio Gibson probably out. Alex Smith out.
Haskins.
Yeah. Now he might rely on Thomas as a safety link, but he's pretty inaccurate. He didn't look good against anybody really last year when he played. So I wouldn't worry about. Yeah, I think Logan Thomas is going to have a rough week. He's been really good though. He's been like the tight end 8 over the last 6-7 weeks. So, but don't rely on him this week.
All right, Josh, get this right. Get this tight end pick right. We need it. Get me the championship. Okay, Josh just said to set Travis Kelce, and that was the show. Thank you all for listening. I'm just kidding.
No,
he did not say that. Repeat, did not say that.
You can never sit Travis Kelce in any circumstance unless he's hurt and he's not going to if he's benched. Like let's say it says IR. You still got to start him.
Maybe start him. Maybe
still got to start just to be safe. He might score some points on accident.
I know he's not getting me negative.
Yeah, he'll get you 0. He won't get you less than that.
He'll never. So I'm decided to go with. I decided to go with the old Eagles. Dallas Goedert was back, and we're thinking, yeah, he'll be something really special now. And with Carson Wentz, Dallas Goedert actually is special. Not with Jalen Hurts. He caught 4 passes for 43 yards, which was great if you wanted the tight end 19 last week. Like, if that's what you wanted, that's great. Let's do that. Jalen Hurts completed 56% of his passes last week for only 167 yards on 30 attempts. He had 1 touchdown. That was to Alshon Jeffrey. And you got to remember, out of those 167 yards, one of them was for 39. So not good. Jalen Hurts, he's going to be the
hero. Okay.
No, I understand that. But from a quarterback perspective, not good to help out your tight end. And normally that's their security blanket. I don't think Dallas Goedert's going to go. The matchup is already tough. They're the 5th best team. The Cardinals are against tight ends, only allowing 7.9 points. They've only allowed 3 touchdowns all season long to tight ends. I don't want anything to do with it. If you want it, go get it. But I don't think Dallas Goedert is a good option this week.
Okay.
I agree 100% with Josh. He's the guy I had picked as my villain before I saw Josh picked him as his villain as well. For that specific reason, 3 touchdowns all year. He ain't doing nothing this week.
Buda Baker, he's a real deal.
He's
pretty good.
He's just not faster than Metcalf. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what he does in his career. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that'll always be what he gets remembered for.
I don't know
Leon Lett. All he gets remembered for is getting
punch the ball out on him.
Yeah.
That was in the snow too. That was a fun game.
Well, no,
when Dallas used to be good.
Leon Lett has 2 plays. Sorry, he has the snowball where he shouldn't have touched the blocked field goal, and they ended up giving the ball over to the team. And then he has the one in the Super Bowl where if he would have just covered the ball up, it could have been the highest scoring blowout win ever for a Cowboy for any team. Mm-hmm. And good old Don Beebe, I think it was Don Beebe. Yeah, Chad Beebe's dad.
Jerry said not once did he consider firing Mike McCarthy. Didn't even think about it.
Yeah. I trust everything Jerry Jones says.
He gave Jason Garrett like 10 years.
10 years he gave Jason Garrett.
You only lose that job if you win.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you don't do everything Jerry tells you to do and you win, then because Jimmy Johnson and
Bill Parcells
both lost that job.
After Jimmy too. They didn't last long.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, Barry Switzer won with Jimmy's team. He did,
but he didn't last long. Is what I'm getting at. They didn't last long.
Well, he wanted more control.
Yeah,
that's why. So, because Barry wasn't used to taking orders from anybody.
Yeah.
Jason Garrett will take orders.
Anything else from week 15 to get you in the championship here? I know there's gonna be something we missed because I want to get these. I want you all to win. If everybody wins, we all win, and that's what we're here for.
This is what I always say right now: is not the time to overthink things and get cute. I understand.
That's why I brought up the Dalvin Cook thing because I don't want people benching Dalvin Cook for Jeff Wilson Jr.
Right. Don't bench him. I mean, you're gonna play him, but you need to make up points somewhere else because I think he's going to struggle again.
Don't go with a safe play in your flex. Leave Dalvin Cook in your RB position, but then put some dude that can get you make up those differences.
Yeah, somebody that can pop off for you in your flex position.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, now's not time to get cute. You just, you go, you dance with the girl you brought to the ball. Okay. Yep. There's certain situations if you have interchangeable flex players, I understand that, but don't get cute and say, well, Dalvin Cook's got a bad matchup. I'm gonna play this guy, old Uncle Rico, and throw him in there. Like, no, come on.
Throw the ball.
Rico, yeah, I was just gonna say, throw it over the mountains. It'll be fine.
Man, if we could just go back to 84. Oh my.
Right. I would say take a look at these over-unders, some of these higher ones like the Packers and Panthers.
Mike Davis, man.
Lions and Titans. Like Vegas, like Josh said last week or the week before, Vegas usually gets it right. That's why they make money. That's why they're still there. So look at these over-unders. Look at who's favored. If you got big disparities.
Cole Beasley.
Right.
Still only 75% owned. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They said Allegiant Stadium is the only place in Vegas where the house loses.
Well, that's because They look out there.
Do what?
It looks like a Roomba, just sucking up all the garbage.
Dude, that thing is so cool. Looking, looks like the Death Star. That thing is awesome.
Maybe from the ground, but from the overhead, it looks like a Roomba.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the inside of it one day. Hopefully, maybe
Like live in person. Yeah, watch a game.
I didn't realize the Rams were favored by 17 points. So if you see a line like that, if you see something like that, like the Rams will probably end up running the ball a lot. So you can probably bet on their backs. But like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, probably not going to be their week.
Would you start any of the tight ends from that game? Would you go with Tyler Higbee?
I almost considered Tyler Higbee, but I don't want to get cute.
Man, I'm not saying he's gonna be a hero, but he's been so up and down. It's been so hard.
He's been tight end 22 over the last like 6-7 weeks. I wouldn't play him again. Like Josh said, don't get cute.
That's what she said.
If you've got Robert Tonyan, go get him or play him. Somebody like that. He's been so up and down. He's only had the most he's scored in the last 7 or 8 weeks is 8 points, and that's because he got in the end zone. And he didn't get in the end zone like 8 weeks before that. He got in the end zone, and then it's just goose eggs down the list for Higbee. So I wouldn't play him.
Wouldn't play.
Who wins? New Orleans, Kansas City.
KC. No.
No Michael Thomas, dude.
Yeah, probably.
They're too good. The fact that Kelsey does what he does all the time, and then Tyreek Hill just makes everybody look like they're moving in slow motion. Did you see that laser that Mahomes threw to him last week? Neither of them look like they tried. I think we talked about this, Josh. I'm not sure if we did or not, but neither of them look like they tried.
Mahomes never looks like he looks like he's just out.
He's just
in the backyard playing with some kids, just throwing.
He looks like Uncle Rico hitting Napoleon on the bike. That's what he looked like. He just stood flung it.
I want him to start being like Favre, where he's just trying to make these impossible throws, just so he can spice things up a little bit. Like I'm just so bored.
So like Jordan shoots the free throws with his eyes shut. He's just trying to raise the difficulty.
He threw it with his left hand. Like he's done this stuff. I mean, throwing it 60 yards on a rope is pretty impossible for most people.
Uh-huh.
He's gifted. He's very gifted. He's incredibly gifted.
Him and Herbert, man, like they just it's frozen ropes all over the field.
Don't put him and Herbert even in the same.
What are you talking about? That one that Herbert threw,
don't care.
That didn't leave the television screen. It just 60 yards on a just
he's not Mahomes yet. I'm not putting him in the same category.
Not yet. Arm strength wise, I would.
Josh Allen's there too, but I'm not saying
Jay Cutler's there too, boys.
Jay Cutler. I don't think I've ever seen Josh Allen throw a dime like that. I don't think.
I've seen plenty of them, but
couple at 60 yards. I don't know about that.
You threw in the combine, baby.
We're arguing semantics.
Get out of here. I mean, in a game.
We're arguing semantics.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. Let's get out of here. Let's get you all into week 15.
Good luck.
Remember, if you're listening to this on the podcast, there are games starting on Saturday.
Boom. Thanks for tuning in to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Josh. You can find me on Twitter at FFJoshHughes. You can find Brad at Tack Jones, and Eric will be at Guns of L19. You can talk to the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at EmptyWagonFF. If you want, you can always find us on our website at fsa-fr.com, along with many other great, fun, unique stories, details, and prizes. So please check it out, fsa-fr.com. We love you, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.